In here.
Oh, no, that was your...
There we go. Here we go. See, that's what it's supposed to do right there. Now it's working. All right, so we're live. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to be happy behind, so we're going to go ahead and grab Keto Steve here.
Which one?
Keto Steve.
Hello.
Hey, man. Need a second here while we're getting set up.
That'd be good. Take your time. Just want to make sure I'm framed up properly.
All right.
Let's go on. Are we going vertical with this or horizontal? Horizontal, right?
I think we can go either way. I'm just trying to get us set up here.
Cool.
Once we get our live piece in.
Turn sideways.
Let's see, is that the one? There we go. All right. You good where you are?
I think so. Hang on. Give me 1 second.
All right.
What are you doing? Phone's freaking out now on me. Ugh.
Don't you love that? At least it's not.
Technical. It's made in my existence. It really is.
You know what? We're with you, man. We're with you. Like, for some reason, I created a new stream, and then it worked. Like, the old one, it just wouldn't take. For some stupid reason.
Oh, gosh.
No idea. All right. Now, our encoding software is being stupid. So,
Nice.
I don't know. This is all kinds of fun. Hey, there we go. Well, we have you at least.
Okay.
All right.
Can't see myself, but for. Gosh.
Let me see if
Ugh. It knows it's Sunday and it's the weekend, so it's like I don't want to work at all.
it doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
thanks.
I don't want to. I don't want to do anything. It's just
Take the day off.
happy, angry. Right. Let's see if this works. I'm not seeing anything over there. Try removing this one. Adding it back in. That's what happens when you're kind of noobs, you know. You're trying to figure this stuff out, and it's so complicated.
Yeah, it's so much trial and error. And YouTube videos of like, how does this work? How does that work?
Right? Well, I think we got something. I think we might be in business now. All right. Oop. Now I'm clicking the wrong one. There we go. All right.
Begin this.
I mean, it's something.
Okay.
Your phone keeps freaking out though. He's thinking like we're switching.
Okay. So we want to go vertical or horizontal? My phone's horizontal.
I think
right
horizontal will probably be okay. Can you do
Okay.
it horizontal?
I can't see me, but I can see you. But you're horizontal. But I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna switch this around.
All right.
For some reason, it's thinking you're that way. So this is fun. All right. Is there any way to switch it? Because right now I'm looking on the side of your head.
Yeah.
Because it thinks you're. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, perfect.
Cool. All right, let me just dangle this around.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why I haven't messed around with YouTube Lives yet, because if I do, I know it's just going to be a rabbit hole of technical difficulty.
Yeah, well, you know, the first part we had that was an issue was the encoding software was just having issues. So that became a problem. And then, you know, I mean, it's a whole thing. So I think we got your face, man. I think we're good.
Okay. Oh,
All right.
Very good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm
Keeps
just going to leave it.
It keeps flipping to your backyard too, so we're cool.
Okay.
All right, good. So
Business.
we're still looking okay online then, hun?
Yeah.
Everything's good? All right.
Yeah. Well, it's just us, basically.
That's okay. Well, that's because we're late. People will either show up late. We also have 2 streams out there, so if nothing else, people will come back and we'll watch it later. All those technical issues, people just give up. I mean, I do. That's what happens with me. But that's okay. We'll get this going.
I'm just responding to somebody's chat in there.
Cool. All right. I had some questions for you, Steve.
Yeah.
Is Steve okay, or you prefer Keto Steve?
I don't mind either way. It's Steve, Keto Steve.
Answer to everything?
Yeah, just anything Steve related, or they just call me Keto. Like, oh, hey, Keto. It's like,
Keto. All right, we're going to actually show you on screen now, because I didn't click the button.
All right, cool.
So now you're actually part of something here.
Sweet.
I appreciate you taking the time, man, to come talk with us.
Yeah, of course. Very awesome. Whenever, collaborating with other YouTubers and keto folks, we're all in the same boat.
That's right. Well, not necessarily in the same boat. I got a few pounds to lose.
Okay.
I'm not so certain that you do.
All right. I used to be there, so I can relate.
Did you? Okay. Well, that answers the first question.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, you want to just kind of start from the beginning, or?
You know what? Let me. You want to just give us your origin story? I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, about, I want to say 3 years ago, my mom actually kind of turned me on to the diet. So she's like, hey, you should try this keto thing. I'm like, okay, that sounds, pretty interesting. She's like, all you have to do is cut out carbs and, cut out sugar. I'm like, okay. So, like, I myself love my fries. I love my burgers with the buns, and I like my ice creams and all that. So I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work. It's going to be kind of tough. So, basically, if in the beginning it was just more of a science experiment, like, okay, how is this actually going to work? So first month and a half, lost 15, 20 pounds, and I was like, okay, like where'd all this weight come from? Because I was a relatively, I was like a skinny fat, so to speak. So like all the fat was in my face and I guess in my stomach, and that all went away within the first month, and I was like, okay, wow, this is crazy. So I'm like, I guess it all wasn't just sitting on my butt; it was on my stomach. So lost all that weight, and then a few months later lost the last 20, 30 pounds, and maybe like something around 40 to 50 pounds, total now, and just been doing keto ever since. Started a YouTube channel because people were like, hey, do you have recipes, do you have pictures? I'm seeing all this awesome food. I'm like, no, not really. So, as we were talking earlier, went on YouTube, how to start keto YouTube channel, how to start an Instagram, and was like basically kind of, finagling my way through it, and, had a website and everything. So that's kind of, is where the origin of it, so to speak, came from. I wanted to, after I lost all that weight, I was like, I want to tell everybody about this.
Yeah,
like, how this is amazing, this is crazy, and it's like, I felt like I had gotten my life back, and so if I could share that experience with somebody else and they could feel empowered and inspired to do the same thing, then I'm like, hey, by all means, let's do it.
Right, yeah. Sorry, Stacy had to step away. She had the oven in, and timing just didn't work out perfect, so she has to go get something out of the oven, but it's beeping in the background, so... Yeah, that's awesome. So your mom actually got you started. You said you were about, 40 or 50 pounds overweight, so to speak?
Yeah, so to speak. Like, I wasn't necessarily say I was obese or anything, but like a lot of the weight was in my in my neck or in my stomach as well, and then I guess I said some in my butt, but
in the butt.
That all just kind of in the butt. There's some junk in the trunk, so to speak. So. Lost all of that in the first, month and a half, too, of just, cutting all that out, kind of cold turkey, kind of, just realizing that, hey, if I can make this lifestyle change, then I'm going to feel better and healthier and, add some years on my life. So I figured, hey, why not while I'm young?
Yeah. So how did you get started exactly? Like because everybody does keto a little different. So how did you actually start? Did you scope out everything, figure out all your meals, what they're going to be, how you're going to do it? Or did you just kind of I'm just going to eat these things because they're a part of the approved list?
Yeah, so I, basically, like I said, went on Google and was like, what is keto? Or, did some more research on what exactly this, lifestyle would be about and what it would entail. So kind of, looking at foods I can eat, foods I can't eat, and then, from that point, just being able to kind of, game plan what I was going to eat. So, meal prepping on the weekends, like, okay, breakfast things, here's my snack things, here are my dinner things, and then just realizing that on a day-to-day basis of what I was eating, I would cut out, things with excess carbohydrates. Like, okay, so if I'm going to have, usually a burger for something, I'm like, okay, no bun, all right, no fries, side salad instead. And especially, when I was going out, like with friends and social, it's like, I was getting so many weird looks, and it's like, oh, he's not eating.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you get subconscious about
keto thing.
Like, you can eat a burger without a bun.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like the social pressure of that is like, it's it's a mind game in yourself because you're like, I want to eat this certain way and then not get super weird looks from my friends. But it's like, hey, if they're your friends, they're gonna expect you for who you are and they're gonna support your decisions. So I think, luckily in the beginning, I had those friends who were like, hey, do what you gotta do, man. It's like if it makes you happy and it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it's funny.
By all means. So.
It's funny you mentioned that because we actually have some friends and their daughters were doing keto like at school, and there was that pressure and that. So they stopped because they're like, no, I can't handle this. This is bad. And, I don't know. The one is not really overweight, but just,
No, neither. None of them are.
Yeah. So it's interesting because like the social pressure that you're talking about, it's real. It's especially in high schools and stuff like that. Obviously, it's even worse. But cool. You had a question?
Yeah. So now that you are you're doing maintenance keto.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Because there's a lot of different ways. I've been listening to like podcasts and stuff. There's a lot of different ways. There's people that are strict keto, they're lazy keto, and I don't like those titles, but or there are people that are just like, if it fits your macros. So I'm kind of curious, once you get to maintenance status, what are you doing?
Yeah, so a lot of it in the beginning was I know a lot of people to each his own when it comes to the tracking aspect. It's like when you write everything down, it helps your brain memorize things. Like when you're holding yourself accountable or taking pictures of everything you're eating on a day-to-day basis, it's a lot easier to track everything. When you're first starting out, I definitely suggest that. But I think for me, what I do now is really just I'm just conscious about it. Like I know how much I have to eat of a certain food, or when I want to get my fats in, or I'm not getting enough protein, and really just subconsciously balancing it all out. And I think that it also depends upon, I guess, kind of where you live. So like we all live in different parts of the country, so it's like some folks might have access to a Whole Foods and a Trader Joe's and all that within a 5-mile radius, whereas folks maybe in more rural parts of the country might just kind of have to deal with Aldi's or Target or Costco or whatever it might be. But I think that just being able to do what works best for you, like I said, it's so cliche, but it's like I say it over and over and over because it really is what works best for you and your lifestyle, and what you eat is the fuel that's gonna prolong your duration for the day and how much energy you're gonna have, so that you can get from point A to point B, from when you wake up in the morning to when you go to bed at night.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's kind of like whatever's gonna keep you, continuing on with it, all day, every day, basically for the rest of your life.
Stacy says, don't track macros. Just know intuitively how to eat.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, to each his own. If you feel like tracking your macros helps you, do it. Yeah. Like don't listen to outside noise. It's a marathon, not a race. Keep those blinders on and stay focused on your long-term goal. Whereas, if your goal is to just get to that point where you can intuitively eat, it's like that's a great goal. That's a tough one itself too. It's not easy. Like there's we all go through things when it comes to whether it be emotional eating or things that have gone on in our past, where it's like we have this relationship with food that can be either healthy or unhealthy. So it's like, finding what, like I said, what works best for you and getting to that point is like the main goal.
Yeah. So you said...
Keto Michelle is saying there's a hard feedback noise behind Steve.
Hard feedback noise behind Steve.
Hard feedback noise. Might be the window open. Let me try closing the window. Let's see. I don't have anything else on. I also have headset on too.
Hey, how cool is it that Keto Michelle and Keto Steve have the same first name?
Oh wow! Like, what are the odds? I don't know. I think we might be family. Who knows?
Cool. So you kind of already answered this, but I just want to make sure, because this is one of those questions that I spent like really long time trying to develop. Right? Like I need to know Keto Steve. What is he? And you kind of alluded to it, but your food blogging really started with keto. Like you weren't a food blogger before you became keto.
No, not at all.
Get that story out.
Yeah, absolutely. My background is essentially in video production. So I went to college for broadcast journalism, which is essentially, English. I went to school to read words and speak them eloquently. So my background is in that, but I found myself more drawn towards the technical side of things, like we were kind of talking about earlier, gizmos and gadgets and kind of the video editing and the production of all that and shooting cameras and all that jazz. So that's where my background kind of lies. So the whole food thing was like I guess just an untapped talent or potential that I had I didn't even know about. So when I started the keto thing and taking pictures on Instagram, I'm like, okay, wait, I could either have this look just like okay, but I'm like, no, like I want this to look great. Like when someone sees that picture, they're like, wow, that looks really good.
Drool
Like,
coming down the mouth and salivating. Yeah, I'm with you.
All the whole 9 yards. So that was like the biggest thing for me was like I want this to look good, and it's like if I'm gonna make this look good, I want to be able to just not just go half in. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go YouTube channel. I'm gonna go Instagram feed, like everything. So it's like whole 9 yards. Let's throw it all out there.
So we think that you have a very strong love of heavy cream. Stacy and I have made note that almost every recipe you post has heavy cream in it. So I think Keto Steve really enjoys his heavy cream.
I'm a heavy cream connoisseur. Speak of the devil, I just had a little container of berries with some heavy cream on top of it for my lunch.
Nice.
So I mean, like it's
good.
I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
If I want to sponsor, can I get sponsored by any heavy cream companies out there? Hit your boy up.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So what kind of heavy cream do you buy, man? Organic, obviously, but do you have a specific preference, like brand-wise, that you go with?
Yeah, so at Whole Foods, or Whole Paycheck, as I like to call it, I used to be shopping at, I think it was a brand called Cloverfield. It's like this local Sonoma County, California-based farm up there. So that's where I was getting a lot of my heavy cream from them. And I think that this comes like the little packages. I wish they came in like the really big ones, because I would not know. Yeah, like the really big bulk ones. But I did a collaboration with them a while ago where I just took a picture. I was like, hey, I used heavy whipping cream in my recipe. It's like, hey, check them out. So that's
so that actually works.
Where my otherwise it's like plug companies, and it's like, oh hey, like that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. You get another one?
So I have different. So what are you like when you've had a long day and you're tired or whatever? What is kind of like your go-to for lunch or dinner, or what? I'm not good at this.
What do you make when you don't want to make food, but you need to eat?
When I don't want to make food. Okay, so something like I'm tired, it's been a long day, and I'm like, I have to cook something just because I don't want to.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm super basic, so I'll just go like some chicken veggie stir fry or whatever. Boom. Like just it's a set and forget kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just like let it sit there for like 20-30 minutes, go watch some TV, and then come back. It's like, all right, we're done.
Ours is, I think, tacos.
Yeah,
tacos.
We make a lot of tacos.
Kids really there you go. Taco bowls.
Yeah.
That's it.
Tacos is one of those foods that you don't necessarily like. You can kind of walk the line, because we got a household with non-keto people. You can kind of like walk the line and give them their floury tortillas or corn tortillas or whatever, and we can make our own stuff, and like everybody's happy and there's no complaints, which is nice.
Yep. There you go. It's like this is what we made, and eat it.
Eat it or don't. I mean, they hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, feedback's better, I hope.
Nothing else has been said about it.
Okay. Well, let's hopefully that's the case. So, to dive more into the personal aspect of your day job, I assume that maybe your broadcasting background has landed you a job, and I think there was one of your videos alluded to the point that you may in fact work for a professional athlete organization.
Yeah. So I actually, speak of the devil, since you're wearing a Detroit Lions jacket there, I actually had a brief stint with the NFL for 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
So was up in West LA working there. I was on their social media team working on Snapchat. So a lot of the stuff I would be doing is on game days, I'm the guy watching 16 games as they're happening from 8 a.m. to whenever they get done p.m. So
holy crap,
that's cool. But you're not doing that anymore. You're probably still doing the same type of work, but not actually for them anymore.
Not anymore. They work on a contract basis. I'm not even sure if my past employers are watching this, but they probably won't, so I'm just going to tell you anyways. The way things work is that the industry in sports, especially here, I guess on the West Coast, is you essentially work on a contract role. So if I was a contractor working for 7 months of full-time work, and then for 5 months, for lack of a better word, they say, go away. And they do that to avoid having to pay employees the full-time benefits. So I was on a 3-year, I guess, contract. I was there for 7 months, left once I did other stuff. 7 months left, 7 months left, and now we're at the last part of the left. So I recently left, like, gosh, maybe a month ago, and so I've been just kind of doing this whole YouTube thing and everything like that, the whole keto thing kind of full time, and hoping and praying, crossing my fingers, hey, someone send me some money, hey, send me some groceries. Luckily, and thank God I live at home with my parents, and family takes care of me, and if I need anything, financially, it's like they're there for me. So just kind of, going in the direction of wherever it is the big man upstairs is putting me, and ketoing on.
Yeah. So, sort of a follow up to that is, your mom got you into keto. Is she still doing keto?
Yeah. She should be. She actually had a brief stint at the hospital recently for her blood pressure because it's so high. So I was like, Mom, what are you doing? You introduced me to keto, and now I'm the one only still on keto, and now you're off the keto. But Mom, you need to get back on the keto because she knows her blood pressure's super high, and she's on some meds right now. So I'm like, Mom, we need to get you back on the keto train. She's like, but I want my sweets, and I'm like, I'm not making you sweets. I'm sorry, you can't have these sweets. And then she's like, hey, honey, make me some sweets. My dad's like, okay, I'll make you sweets. So it's like, if you don't make it, you're in trouble.
Yeah. You don't want to get in timeout or anything.
I think there's an echo between the sound that's coming through on the computer and this.
Short that down just a little bit. That should help. All right.
Okay.
See if that's any better, guys.
Trying to see if we can get that feedback to stop.
Yeah. Cool. Did you have another question?
No, I think you took all my questions in the beginning.
I did. How did I do that?
I don't know.
I asked one question and they all went at the one time.
No,
that was
I shared
amazing.
my questions with you earlier.
All right. Well, let me give another one here then. So, you kind of hit a couple of those things. By the way, tried the ham and egg cups the other day.
Ooh.
Awesome. They were very good.
Yeah.
Yep. Used a little too much heavy cream in them.
Never enough heavy cream. If I could I just put 2 cups of heavy cream and see if anybody says anything.
Yeah. I had to go back and check because I'm like, man, these things are a little watery than I thought. And, oh, whoops! I somehow managed to double the recipe and not double the number of eggs and So that was interesting. And my Canadian bacon slices weren't quite cooperating with the muffin tin that I was using either. So. But they're tasty.
Gotcha.
They're tasty.
That's good. That's all
I'm
matters.
gonna make Greg do the chicken kebabs this week.
Yes, it's chicken kebabs.
Because I love love everything lemon. In fact, that's what I had to go pull out because I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but it's Game of Thrones.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, so we have our friends over every Sunday for dinner, and HBO commissioned a recipe for the lemon cakes that Sansa likes so much. So I found that a few years ago, and I've been making them ever since. But they're made with regular flour and regular sugar and buttermilk. So today is my first time making them keto. So I had to go pull them out of the oven.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous on them.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds amazing.
They do. They do smell good.
So yeah.
You should tag HBO in that post on Instagram and be like, hey guys,
yeah.
You get a repost, boom, you're famous, viral,
exactly.
done.
Yeah, we gotta make sure they're good first, so then we can redirect them to the recipe.
Right. Yeah, I asked Greg. I said, so I'm changing this and making it keto, so that makes it my recipe now.
Right. Yeah. Because if they come out like Greg's ham cups, we probably need to try again. Because they look like a mangled mess. It was funny.
But yeah, definitely want to try those lemon kebabs. I can't remember exactly what you called them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So they're like, my website says lemon chicken kebabs. I'm like, that sounds weird. So I'm like, I might as well just call them lemon chicken kebabs for the sake of YouTube, because people are going to search that in and be like, what the hell did they call that for that reason? It's like, just trying to be fancy with the name. Like, oh, hey, this is cool. It's like, no, just be basic. Stop.
Yeah, just be basic.
So I actually have a question that just popped up in my head.
Go.
Where do you get your inspiration for your recipes? Are these things that you are taking from like regular people food, I guess, and ketoizing it, or are they something that you're just coming up with on all your own?
My brain's weird. I will say that everyone has weird brains, but it's just like my brain will just, I'll be in some place, or I'll be like working out at the gym, or I'll be like sitting on my computer editing and be like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool idea for this, and just like out of nowhere, I don't even know why it happens. Just like the brain just wanders. Like your brain's supposed to be here, but it's like a dog that's off the leash, just kind of wandering around the dog park. Hey, like, oh, what's this? Let's smell that. Oh, that smells good. Like, oh, hey, how you going? How's it going? So it's like wherever the brain goes. But I mean, like I said, inspiration just kind of comes from like anywhere and everywhere. It's like if I see like a recipe or I see a food, it's like, hey, can I keto-fy that? It's like, okay, probably. So it's like, switch out the flours, or add this, subtract that. But a lot of that is just, like I said, my brain's weird and it just kind of wanders sometimes.
How long does it take you? Like if you're adapting something to be keto, how long does it take you to get that right before you want to release it on YouTube or on your website?
Yeah, so let's see, I'm trying to rack my brain. So like recently I did, like I said, the lemon chicken kebabs. Those are just out of thin air things. So I guess that took me, maybe like a day, probably half a day. So I'm like, write out the recipe, make sure the ingredients are good, and then the quantities and all that. Because a lot of it's just like trial and error tinkering. So I don't want to make something and be like, oh shoot, I shot this. Now I have to reshoot this and do pickup shots because this wasn't exactly how I wanted it. So it's like from pre to post production, it takes maybe 5, 6, 7 hours, and then plus editing, it's like another 1 or 2. So it's like usually a day I can probably push out a video. But it's like for like I said, the quality over the quantity for me. It's like you guys get 1 video a week, okay? You get 1 video, and it's gonna be good, and you're gonna have to wait till next week until another one. So
do you have like a lineup of things that you want to put out?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have a quote-unquote, I guess, content calendar. So like basically it's just like a calendar that says, hey, this is when we're going live with this video, this video, this video. So I've been shooting a whole bunch of videos lately, doing some collaborations with some other folks. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say anything about it yet, but I'll keep it on the DL. But yeah, the collaborations with some other, big, cool keto peeps out there. There's, some awesome recipes and funny shticks and comedy stuff. So that's what we got coming down the pipe. And in May. Not so much me, more so them, but yeah, can't wait for that. It's going to be great.
So kind of the opposite of our relationship, where you're the big name and we're the ones that are just kind of like, trucking through.
I can relate though. I used to be there, so it takes time. It takes growing and building that brand and getting yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we would definitely appreciate your time.
Yeah.
So I did have. So speaking of that, it seems that Instagram is your go-to format, and maybe it's because of the technical difficulties that we're seeing with YouTube, but that does seem to be the fact that you kind of lean heavily on that. And I see you have a schedule on your website, so I wanted to plug that for you as to who you're going to be interviewing. So, but yeah. So can you talk to us a little bit about like why Instagram, like your sort of interest?
Yeah, sure. So I think so like in the beginning, like I said, when I was just kind of first out, I was like, once I had established my website and my YouTube, I'm like, what can I do more? How can I take that even farther step and that, third, fourth step? So that was kind of, with the advent of Instagram Live, Instagram allowing you to go essentially Skype call live with another person dual screen. I'm like, hey, why not just, use my background in journalism and interview people and be like, hey, let me hear about your story, let me hear about your testimony about how you got to keto and, what your life's like now and kind of the challenges you face, and just hearing about their story and their testimony, because even if it's just one person that hears that testimony, it's like, hey, I heard that live, and it's like, I'm inspired because of that. I wanted to start keto and get back my life because of that. So it's like, even just one person, I mean, that's it. Like, that's why I do what I do, and it's like, I'm here for the people and that help everybody out, and it's like, we're all, like I said, we're all on the same team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Oh, you don't have any more questions?
I have things for me. Obviously, I do not have a background in journalism.
No, she does not. She has a background in procrastination.
No, my background is human reseason.
That's very important though. That you guys are the ones behind the scenes making the wheels turn.
Right.
So it's like we see the pretty car. It's like, wow, that's a pretty car. But it's like, hey, you don't see what's under the hood. Like, Stacy's the one,
All right, gotta get that squared away. So, How long does it usually take from start to finish for you to actually have a video edited, like your production? Like, how much do you usually, and it kind of go along with that is how many clips do you normally shoot of the same thing? Like, I really enjoy your back and forth with yourself clips. Those are kind of entertaining. And I know that's a lot what you strive for is that entertainment value. Because that's a lot different than just someone standing in front of the camera talking about what they ate today. But,
right. So for like a recipe video, for example, that will only take me like I said 7 to 8 hours because it's just camera's not moving, it's just sitting on a tripod, not moving at all, and you're just doing all the ingredients. But it's like most of that stuff's just one take. So I usually thank God, cross my fingers, knock on wood. I usually don't have to do 2 to 3 to 4 takes with all the videos. I usually just do like one shot because when I go shopping at the store, I'm like I tend to usually not buy a second ingredient of something. I usually just buy one quantity's worth of ingredients for the recipe. So usually I do that to myself, just kind of like psych myself out. So it's like, hey, let's do it on one shot. I don't want to have to do it again because no one ever likes having to redo something. So it's like I want to get it right that first time. So very I guess quote unquote anal about it. Some of us are. So very meticulous about that. But for the comedy sketches, those will usually take maybe sometimes 2-3 days, even maybe like a week at times, depending upon the script I write out and kind of the jokes and kind of what's trending right now in the world and the memes and like the jokes. So it's like, okay, is anyone really going to get that joke? It's like maybe that's not my wheelhouse or that age group. They're not going to get that joke. But it's like 9 times out of 10 they get the joke. They're like, oh, that's funny. Like you just made a SpongeBob reference because like everybody knows SpongeBob. So SpongeBob references are easy. So that's usually from pre to post. Like sometimes a week for comedy sketches, then maybe like a day or two for recipe videos. But I like more so the comedy sketches just because it's not so monotonous. It's more fluid. It's more fun. It's more entertaining. It's like people like to see I guess me. They're like, oh, you're funny. I'm like, okay, I guess so. Like, all right, whatever. So
yeah. So Keto Michelle has a question for everybody. She's wanting to know if we track our macros. So I have been back and forth on it. I tracked really strictly in the beginning. Yeah. And then I kind of like slacked off for 3 weeks, and then I did it again for like a week, and now I haven't tracked again this week. But I'm still seeing progress, so I don't feel the need. That's where I'm doing kind of the intuitive eating and stuff like that. I'm still seeing progress. I don't see the need to track it unless I have a stall. Right.
Yeah, and I've seen stalls from here and there, so I've just kind of accepted that my fate is that I'm going to have to track these things just so that when I get to the point where I have a stall, I know what I need to change or how I need to alter things to move forward. So I'd say probably 6 out of 7 days I do track now.
And then you mentioned that you aren't tracking anymore?
Yeah, not anymore. My brain's too frazzled to do that. I'm thinking about a million different things. Adding tracking my food to that list is like, good luck. Nice try.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem too, because I'm just like, no, I don't need anything else.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope, that's the only question on there.
All right. Do you have any more, or do we go to the next one?
I don't know. I kind of feel like talking more about the whole because I like to bake, and I mean he's the cook, I'm the baker, and I like to talk to other people that have had success with converting regular recipes to keto recipes. So I'm just kind of curious, do you prefer if you have to sub out all-purpose flour, do you prefer almond flour or coconut flour, or are there any other ones? I just heard about peanut flour, and I actually really want to try making a peanut butter cookie with that. So I'm just kind of curious, what do you use?
So the whole debate of team coconut, team almond, I guess, so to speak. But it's really the taste, and I'm sure you can probably attest to that. The taste is different, definitely depending upon, I guess, what the recipe is. Maybe cooked chocolate chip cookies. Okay, can I use almond flour, coconut flour? I'd probably lean towards almond flour with cookies, or maybe it's brownies, or maybe it's a cake. I usually with almond flour just because I think it's what I've always been cooking with since going keto. But it comes to coconut flour. It's like if that's all I have to bake with, I'll use that. But I think I preferred almond flour just because I know what I'm going to get every single time I bake with it, and it's kind of a wild card with coconut flour I found. But peanut flour sounds really interesting. I've never heard of that before. I mean, like that's not. I wouldn't be surprised though. It'd be like avocado flour.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably I don't know, but like.
It's made with the seed, by the way.
2019.
Avocado flour is made with the seed. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I was going to believe you for a second. Like, okay, that's
like, that makes sense. Yeah, avocado flour.
So yeah, I just was kind of curious on that. Like I've seen people make the peanut flour themselves just by grinding up peanuts, but it's like I'm too scared. I'd rather just buy it.
Yeah.
No,
so
to go off of that point, just the flowers are expensive too. Like
right,
they're not cheap. Like that's pricey stuff. But it's like if you want to make some bake some keto treats, it's like it's definitely worth it. But it's like the wallet's gonna be like ouch after you buy some flour.
Yeah.
So speaking of treats though, how often do you actually in your daily eating regimen, whatever you want to call it, how often do you actually indulge?
Not often. As much as I make treat recipes, it's crazy. I don't know why, but I just usually don't. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I try my treats, sometimes I don't. But it's like I just feel like if I try one, I'm gonna go off the deep end with it. So instead of just trying one, I'll be like, I want 3 or I want 4. So it's like knowing my limits, and I'm so strict on that. It's like if it's a special occasion, for example, if it's my friend's birthday or mom and dad birthday, whatever it might be, I'll have a slice of cake. I'm not gonna feel bad about it because it's their birthday, it's a celebration, having fun, whatever it might be. But it's like if you're Joe Schmo off the street and you ask me to go to your birthday party, I'm probably not gonna have cake at it. So
yeah, that Joe Schmo guy, he's not very considerate.
No, I don't think he's keto either.
Yeah, he's not. Totally not. So speaking of joining keto, what was the hardest thing that you had to give up in order to actually like join into the lifestyle? Like what was because mine was bread. Like knowing that I'm not gonna be able to consume like my artistic bread anymore.
Artisan.
Artistic. I'm artistic.
So
artisan bread. Knowing I'm not able to get my artisan bread anymore that I used to make all the time that I loved. I had his book. It was great. So what's been your hardest to give up?
Oh gosh, I like French fries a lot. I like French fries. Like I'm more so not just like regular French fries. I go sweet potato fries because I'm fancy and I live in California. So it's like, hey, sweet potato fries. But it's like I like the deep fried stuff like that, or even just like I guess donuts. But it's like you've probably tested this. Like your cravings change. Like you don't really feel like you need that stuff anymore. Now it's like when someone offers it to you, it just doesn't taste the same as it did before all of keto. But it's like it has the taste, but not like the same taste, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. So going on that same thread, going back to the Game of Thrones thing, Oreo released some Game of Thrones Oreos. So we have friends coming over, and I was like, I have to buy them, and I'm not going to be able to get out of eating just one. That's all I'm going to allow myself is just one. But I'm kind of curious because I was never a big giant fan of Oreos, but they're always good, and sometimes you get that craving for them, and so I'm just kind of like, I wonder how my taste buds will have changed with that. Just one.
Okay. That sounds. I remember the good old days, and I'd have the Oreos, and then just scrape off the inside with that creamy goodness, and then put them back together, and then dip it in the milk, and then just those are the days.
Living the high life.
So we got Sunshine, Stacy, and Bill on here, and they answered pasta and garlic bread are what they miss.
Pasta and garlic bread. Yeah, I can see that. Lasagna, I think. Pasta. Pasta was kind of your go-to, but
it was for a while, but then I kind of got away from it.
Yeah, I kind of kicked her away from it. Like, you can't eat that garbage like all the time. That's all you eat. It's like pasta and Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the sauce. I'm weird.
Ugh. Crazy.
You don't have sauce. You don't have sauce on your pasta.
No.
Well, she does now, but
I do
she
now,
didn't.
I
Because
didn't.
the pasta now is not really floury pasta, right? It's now it's the what is that? The palm
hearts
heart.
of palm.
Yeah, hearts of
something
palm
like
that we tried. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty surprised. And then there's always the miracle stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't dabbled into that much.
We have it. It's just been sitting in the cupboard for a little while.
We both are hoarders when it comes to like new things. Gimme.
Yeah.
So.
Do you do that? Do you buy a lot of like the ready-made keto type stuff?
Kind of. My mom does most of the shopping since I live at home. So whatever she buys, I kind of eat, and it's like she loves pork belly. I'm kind of a fan of pork belly, but not like to the point where I would buy 5 pounds of pork belly and then just make a whole bunch of it and then just like eat all of it, because then like it has like this weird aftertaste in my mouth, and it's like it just sits there. So like all day long, I'm like just my mouth smells like pork belly all day long. I like it, but like. It's weird. I don't know.
What's that weird smell? Oh, Steve must have ate some pork belly today.
Yeah. This is just like hi. Oh, gross.
Pork. Yeah, for sure.
There's still a weird double delay. I still think it's because it's coming from ours, like it's picking it up from ours.
Yeah. I kind of tested that and it didn't seem to have any issues.
Looks like it's just Bill and not Stacy.
Oh, okay.
That's on.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, what was I going to add? See, now I kind of get distracted by the whole pork belly. Now I'm hungry.
Oh, boy.
We got chili.
Yeah, got some chili going. Got some keto chili for Game of Thrones. So
there you go. Yeah, I'm curious. How is this going to end? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think?
I have avoided everything. Normally in between seasons, I'm reading every single thing I can find on it, and I'm so like heartbroken that this is the last season. I don't want any spoilers, so I've avoided everything. So I have absolutely no expectations other than everybody's gonna die.
Other than everyone's gonna die.
What about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat, but I've been watching all the teasers and the trailers they've been releasing, and I'm just like, I didn't notice all the little things they were putting into the scenes that were like literally 2 to 3 seconds long. And then I went on Twitter, and it's like some person listed out, oh, this, like, oh, Jaime Lannister's hand, or Sansa's whatever. And I'm like, how did you see all those things within a 2-second span? And it's like so dark. How did you do that? And they're like, oh, you can thank me later. They listed like 20 things, like, oh yeah, everyone dies. I'm like, yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. It's like, I don't know. I just hope that, from what it's been, from what it's worth in all the seasons, like everybody dies, all my characters die. It's like they killed off all my favorite characters. Like
season 1.
I don't even know.
That's from my
so I was like, why do I even bother? Why bother to just get attached to anybody? They're all gonna die.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they kind of stopped killing people off, so it's like the characters that are left now are like my favorites.
Even the bad ones.
I think I would hate to see anybody else die at this point.
Wow.
Honestly,
I don't know if you know that
like
or not,
even
but
Cersei.
somebody's dying this episode.
Oh, I know.
First episode, someone's gonna bite it.
Yes, like within 5 seconds of the opening episode, dead. Jon Snow, done.
Yep.
Probably.
Gendry's gonna fall down a hill or something, and he's gonna be done.
He was gone for like 3 seasons. They can't kill him off already.
That's what happens. You come back and boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
So yeah,
George R.
exciting
Martin,
stuff.
That bugger of a dude.
Yeah. Get another one.
Wait, I thought Bill didn't watch Game of Thrones. He said he was devastated when they killed off. Oh, 6 Feet Under.
Oh,
okay, sorry. I don't watch that show.
Yeah, 6 Feet Under. That sounds like people are dead if they're 6 feet under already. I mean, right? So I had one other question. What was the other question?
One question to end on.
Go ahead. Oh, you have a question to
end on. It's the end on question.
It's the end on question.
Yes.
Oh, it was like a prediction for Game of Thrones again or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So when you mentioned living at home, but do you cook all your own meals? Or does mom, dad kind of help a little bit occasionally with that? Or like you guys eat as a group or?
We're like the most non-traditional family probably in America because we are like never home. We're always out. And so it's like, hey, fend for yourself. You have a job, buy your own food if you're out. But it's like, whatever there is stuff at the food, you open the fridge, you're like, do I really want to make this right now? No, not really. And you close the fridge and then you just walk away. And then come back 10 minutes later. Okay, wait, is there anything? No, nothing new. Okay, bye.
Yeah, so, nothing good. Bye.
I usually just make meal prep as much as I can in the mornings or on the weekends, and just for breakfast stuff or for snacks, I make a whole bunch of smoothies and just salads and stuff like that, and then kind of eat whenever I feel like it, and then whatever's in the fridge is in the fridge.
So speaking,
so you don't
fluctuate.
So you don't do like any intermittent fasting or anything like that?
I think the only intermittent fasting I do is I think when I eat dinner, usually like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I won't eat until like 11 or 12 the next day. That's really like the extent of it. Or like if I am working, like when I wake up in the morning, I might, I don't drink coffee. I was going to say I drink coffee. I don't drink coffee, but wake up in the morning, drink some water, feel better, and then just like the feeling of being hungry usually just like fades away after like 10 minutes. Like, oh, you're hungry. It's like, no, you're not really hungry. Okay, I guess I'm not hungry. So, and just wait until like
not really hungry.
One to two. Yeah, like the brain messes with me. Like the brain's like, hey, you're not hungry. Then someone's like, you're hungry. Feed me. It's like, no, shut up. You're not hungry. Go away. So.
Need food. Every morning, man, I wake up and I'm like, I'm hungry. Like, this is a feeling I remember having yesterday.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I drink my coffee and I'm not hungry anymore. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. Yeah. So cool. What about long-term fasting? Any of that you've done? I know that's a.
I think I've done 24-hour fasts, but the thing is they weren't necessarily intentional. So when I was like at work at the NFL, there'd be days where you would just be working for like 8, 9, 10 hours at a time. Like on game days, I might not eat until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and not having eaten anything since dinner of the last day. So I would just go that long because I'm like, I don't have time to eat. Like I'm just jamming away. I'm watching all these games, cutting all these highlights. I don't have time to eat. So it's when I like see someone walking by with food, I'm like, oh, hey, what's that? It's like, oh, wait, it's a game. So
right. I remember that. That was something I used to do.
Yeah, it's like, oh, is that breakfast? Like, no, it's dinner. It's like, oh.
Yeah. What about supplements? Do you take any supplements on a regular basis?
Pretty much all natural, aside from a probiotic pill that my mom forces me to eat sometimes. What do I say? You don't eat supplements. You just take them.
Right.
When my mom says, take this, okay, I take this. Or she's like, hey, take this pill, okay, I'll take that pill. But it's like, not necessarily like collagen and all that jazz.
All that a lot of keto stuff. That's because you're young. When you get old like us. Those things become more important, when you get the saggy skin and all kinds of other stuff, you got to figure that stuff out, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, this is going to fix it. This is going to fix it.
Yeah. Like where do I put it? Where do I put it?
Yes. You just rub it on your hair. That way your hair grows longer. Yeah. That's what you do with the collagen. Right?
Okay.
No.
No, you don't do that.
So do you enjoy cooking? I mean, other than shooting your own videos, do you enjoy it? Did you enjoy before keto, and do you enjoy it more now, or?
I think I have, a newfound appreciation for cooking. I think before I would know how to like cook basic things, like, hey, look, I made an omelet, or hey, look, I made potatoes. But it's like you haven't really made real things. It's like, okay, go make a tiramisu. It's like, make a tiramisu what? It's like, yeah, take a tiramisu. It's like, okay. So it's like now I guess my cooking skills have been more advanced, and it's like I can follow directions a lot better when it comes to the more intricate and complicated recipes. But yeah, definitely, like I said, newfound appreciation for it. It's the battle is won in the kitchen when it comes to the moms and my sisters and all that. So all the credit goes to them because those are the people that taught me. So I didn't really know. So I'm like, hey, look, I made an egg. It's like, okay, make something fancier. Okay, so
2 eggs. I made 2 eggs.
Yeah, I made 2 eggs.
Scrambled. I can poach them.
Yeah, I made a fried egg. It's like, wow, congratulations, and welcome to the club. So.
Well, we don't want to take up too much of your time. Do we have any more questions before we let Steve go from the chat?
Not on the chat, but I do have my ending question.
Yeah.
So my ending question has nothing to do with keto, nothing to do with...
Yeah.
So I'll let you choose which one, but, everybody's like medium of choice. There's like regular books, podcasts, TV, movies. Pick one, and what's your favorite? Like, what's your favorite? If it's a book, what's your favorite book? What's your favorite movie? Favorite podcast to listen to? Anything.
Gosh. So I probably should say book just to make people think that I'm super intellectual and knowledgeable and smart and all that. But I grew up on movies and video games and all that. But I'd have to say a movie, and it's rather obscure. I don't know if many people will know about it, but it actually has a somewhat famous actor, Keanu Reeves. It's called Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure. It's a really random. You know that movie.
She knows. It's one of her favorites too.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
I grew up watching that crap.
Yeah.
You're one of my people then.
Out.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
I heard about that. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready right now.
That'll be interesting.
I'm ready.
I actually introduced my daughter to that movie like 4 or 5 years ago or something. She thought it was hilarious. Of course, she was like 8 at the time.
Yeah, at 8 years old, they're just excited that mom's paying attention to them.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a good movie.
So movie.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any podcasts actively?
I listen to like mostly like Christian podcasts, like a guy named Greg Laurie, and I think I listen to John C. Maxwell. He's kind of like a life coach kind of guy. And then my third one I think recently is Dave Ramsey, the financial guy. I listen to all three of those guys. Usually, when I was commuting to and from LA, not anymore, thank God, because that was rough. I would listen to a lot of the podcasts in the car, just like 2 hours in the car in the morning, 2 hours at night. It's like just throw on the podcast, and it's like me and Dave and John are all best friends.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I used to do that a lot when I was commuting quite a bit too. So podcasts are a great way to fill that. Now there's so many more now, and they're so much better that I'm kind of sad that I don't commute all the time. Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I wouldn't wish that. I wouldn't wish any commute on my worst enemy, because that was the worst commute. Just a piece of you dies.
Yeah.
You get in the car. You get in the car, and then just like a little piece of skin just falls off your hand. You're like,
You're just gone. Oh, never get that back.
Yep.
See, then you just gotta get the collagen to put it back.
I know. Just use it as glue. Just use the collagen as glue, and then just like
Boom,
we're
done. Yeah.
Nothing happened.
All right.
Did you have anything that you wanted to plug, or where's the best place people can reach you? Obviously, ketosteve.com, right? Your YouTube channel.
So you can check.
Or is it theketosteve.com?
Yeah, Keto Steve was taken, so I had to do the Keto Steve apparently. So I was like, okay, I'll probably be Keto Steve. So
yeah.
Like I said, my website, we got a bunch of recipes, videos, shenanigans, just more of me being a total and complete weirdo. So if you want to waste your time going and looking at that, go by all means. Yeah, do that. Website, YouTube channel, Instagram, and then I think even in recent, I guess hours, I was like, hey, why not start a podcast? My sister's like, hey, you do your Instagram lives, but it's like, what if people want to listen to you or watch you and they can't, tune in when you're doing it? So I'm like, hey, why not just do like a podcast? That sounds a lot easier, because then it's like people can watch it whenever they want, and or not watch, listen to it whenever they want. So I mean, I'll be starting up a podcast. So you guys are more than welcome to join me and talk keto stuff. You guys want to be one of the guests, by all means. I need people.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Can't wait to join a Keto Steve podcast.
Podcast will be a lot easier to edit too.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's like that's a layup, and there's no one on the court, and it's just like, don't mess it up. It's just.
I'd still miss it though. I'd still miss the layup.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we do really appreciate you taking the time to come visit with us and chat. We learned a lot.
Yes.
Do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. We appreciate it, Steve.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Definitely. Thanks so much, and hope you guys have a great rest of your. What is it, Sunday? Brain doesn't work on the weekends.
Great. Yeah.
It stops working.
Yeah, mine either.
What time it is? I don't know where I am. I'm hungry now. What?
That's what it is. You haven't eaten yet.
Yeah. No, the brain stops working. I don't know.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks a lot, buddy. And we'll talk to you soon. Yeah. Can't wait for another one of your videos to come out.
Yeah.
You got it. Sounds good. Catch you guys on the YouTube.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. Are you gonna stop streaming?
All right.
Okay.
So we're back. I think that was a great conversation.
It was a good conversation. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did you learn a lot about Mr. Keto Steve?
I did, because you were the prober into the personal stuff, and I kept it keto.
Well, yeah, it's because that was what you do. That way, us bros.
Because I stay keto.
Yeah, stay keto. Yeah, so us bros, we get that stuff squared away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Avocado masters. So that's it for us today, guys.
Are we
we should put up our... Oh, yeah, that's right.
We didn't put up our numbers for
We
today.
ran into some technical difficulties earlier on, so our numbers didn't actually get popped up. So we'll go ahead and do that now.
So, just for the record, I only took one pain pill. For anybody that watched a couple of our previous videos, I only took one pain pill for the dental surgery, whatever you want to call it. And it did not affect... Is that not streaming anymore?
It's streaming.
Oh.
It was a pause, though.
It did not affect my weight loss. As you can see, I won.
She won. Fair and
I won.
not so
I
square.
hit the milestone, even after he changed the rules and said it had to be under.
There was no rules.
Yeah.
That was the rule from the beginning.
He says it was an implied rule.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, you can't get to the next caliber. Like, hitting the number doesn't count.
Hitting
you have to
the
go
number.
below the
Hitting
number.
the number is the milestone.
No.
Yes. So anyway, I went below 250 today.
Yeah. So you want to talk about your numbers since you're bragging?
So yeah, below 250. Blood pressure's back on track after a couple weeks ago having that little bit elevated first number.
It only took her one time this time too to check it. She checked it once and
ketones are pretty good this week, 2.7.
Yeah.
And then my what is that?
Glucose.
The glucose, yeah,
yes.
was lower than it has been in a while. So I'm not sure what causes that, but
yeah. So what is the weight loss from the last week?
It was 2 point something pounds. Let me pull it up real quick. 2.6 pounds down
2.6 pounds
from last week. So it's a total of like 43 pounds from January 1st.
So it finally made us honest about being 110 pounds down, huh?
No, I made us honest.
Oh, yeah. Well, I made us honest too. Because now we go into mine. And my numbers, although not quite as great as Stacy's numbers, I'm at 303.4 now, which is down 3 pounds from last week. So that also made us honest. So I think we're like 115 now.
Maybe.
Like pretty close. So that's exciting. My glucose was a little high at 97.
It is a little high for you.
Yeah, that's kind of strange, considering it's the fasting glucose and everything. But 1.7 ketones. So since I made it over that hump, everything seems to has really improved. Because when I first started keto and like the very beginning, like I was getting like 0.5s and 0.6s, and occasionally 0.3s and 0.2s. And I kind of got a little, self-conscious, like, hey, am I doing something wrong? So, of course, I spend a tremendous amount of time researching and trying to figure out what's going on with all that. And then it was sort of the intermittent fasting that kind of got introduced that sort of pushed me to this next level. So, anyway, I always thought it was very interesting how that whole thing works. Everybody's a little different and how keto works for them and whatnot.
And your blood pressure is still good?
My blood pressure is still good, yep. Actually, we didn't. Oh, we did put it up there.
It is on there.
Yeah, so this is the blood pressure that I used to have when I was taking my meds. Because without it, I was in like the high 150s, and the doctors were a little concerned. So I mean, I'm off all three of my meds that I was taking after I'm approaching my 5 month of keto.
5? 4? I don't know.
It's for 17 weeks, right? So
don't ask me to math.
Mathing is hard. Fasting is hard. So yeah. Overall, things are going great. I got a little eye twitch action going on. I think there might be some sort of
stress.
I think it's probably what it is stress. Stacy stresses me out a lot.
Sure.
So, but yeah.
So thanks, Bill, for the little, little, I don't know what those are called. The happy horns.
The happy horns.
I don't know.
I have a happy
celebration horns, and saying that, he says, dang, 2.7 rocking.
Yeah. I think Bill's a little jealous
ketones.
of your ketone production.
Well, I think what I'm discovering and the stuff that I'm listening to in these podcasts is, do you want to switch that back?
Oh yeah.
Is that I was very concerned with, making sure I was getting in those fats, and not eating more protein than fat, and keeping the carbs down, which, obviously you keep the carbs down. But what I'm discovering lately is the more I listen to these podcasts and I listen to all the different people talking about it, is it's really the protein number that you want to hit, because once you're in ketosis, you don't have to worry about the fats, because that's when your body is now burning your body fat. Yeah. So now I'm not so concerned about that, and I think that might be part of the reason why mine might be bumping up a little bit.
Yeah, possible. Although, I mean, even when you originally, I think what it is because, being the carboholic that you are, your liver was like, what is all this?
Yeah.
What is all this? Yeah, it was fair.
Could be.
So it was like, oh my God, I don't know what this is going on here. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So your liver's like overproducing.
Maybe, and it could. Who knows? Maybe it's something to do with no gallbladder too. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible.
But yeah, Bill says he can't hit 1.0. But you know what? From what I've heard, as long as you're hitting 0.5, that means you're in ketosis. So
yeah, I mean,
does it really matter if you get that high?
I mean, I think with yours, Bill, I think because you are a diabetic, I think that your sugars, so the insulin and ketones are definitely playing against each other. So 0.5 is probably pretty decent for your glucose levels, and as it continues to balance out and move, yeah, it's a challenge.
He said a sugars race. Sadly, even without sugars, still it's an epic battle.
Yeah.
I'm assuming though that as things keep progressing on that downward trend, that it'll other things will start going up, like the ketones and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Yeah,
we have people showing up shortly, and we still have things to do to get ready for Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
We have to watch the last 2 episodes of the previous season so we can remember everything that happened 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because we don't actually remember at all what happened. Lies. This is going to become a Game of Thrones podcast. We don't be careful. Luckily, this is the last season. So, yeah.
There's only 6 episodes, so.
So, but yeah, we do appreciate everyone coming out and showing support. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And helping us, even though after having some YouTube technical difficulties, it's hilarious.
It's a trend. We have these technical difficulties every single time.
The funny thing is I sat Stacy down. What was it, like 2:00, and we tried. I just wanted to make sure everything works like the way I expected to, and everything was fine. Everything was flawless. Like made some adjustments.
Right.
And everything was good. And then, we tried to start the original stream, and like it wouldn't pop up. It's so weird.
Wouldn't connect.
So I don't know. I haven't done it enough to know like what's our fault, what's their fault. But I'm fairly certain this one's definitely their fault. And I'm sure Billy's got my back on that one.
Probably.
So,
all
right, guys. Well, that's it from us today. We do appreciate you guys coming out and spending some time with us on Sunday. Got anything else?
Bill said always works beforehand.
Yeah, it always works beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many, if anybody heard me talk about this recipe that I kind of converted over to keto that was, something that Game of Thrones commissioned for HBO commissioned for Game of Thrones. But it's something I've been making for a couple of years. From that recipe, I converted it over today. So if it's successful...
Yeah, it's never successful in the first try.
Well, I mean,
once it
becomes successful, we'll put out a video on it if you're
absolutely.
interested. Because they are really, really good. If you like lemon, it's like half cake, half kind of custard on the top, and it is
quite
super delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely be doing that. So, I think most of our videos that we've kind of gone through our backlog. So I think we're going to be. The numbers should be dwindled down a little bit, but we still have a bunch of videos that we've already shot. We have to go out and do editing and stuff on them. So
thanks everybody. Appreciate you coming along. We'll look forward to the live next Sunday.
Next Sunday's Easter, so I'm not sure we're going to do a live.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot it's Easter.
So we're going to give you guys the weekend off.
Because we'll have family over.
Or maybe we'll do a live on Thursday instead. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, we could do that. Let us know if you'd like us to do our Thursday Carbaholic series as live.
Yeah, I might try that. That'd be fun. Especially if we don't have all these issues.
I think if we do it, like, without planning it.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, we're going live.
This is how Stacy lives her life, by the way. You just do whatever without planning, and it just works. Yeah. No, that doesn't work. It does work. No, that doesn't work.
Most of the time it works.
No, it does not
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. So, thanks, guys. Stay keto.
That's my line.
Then you should say it.
Stay keto.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.